5 deadly signs your kindness is becoming a mental trap. Your kindness can become the easiest way for another person to control you, not because you are weak, because you have something far more valuable than weakness, a conscience. And if you don't understand how your conscience can be manipulated, someone doesn't need to break you. They can simply make you feel guilty for protecting yourself. They can make you feel selfish for saying no. They can make you feel cruel for remembering what they did. They can make you feel disloyal for walking away. And eventually, you will start doing something far more dangerous than obeying them. You will begin controlling yourself on their behalf. Listen carefully. The person who can make you betray your own judgment doesn't need authority over you. They already have access to your nervous system. And that is the level we're going to examine. 2,000 years ago, the Stoics were already asking a question that modern psychology keeps rediscovering in different language. Who governs your judgment? Epictetus understood that another person's opinion is outside your command. Marcus Aurelius understood that external events do not automatically determine the quality of your response. The Stoics weren't trying to make you emotionless. They were trying to make you internally governed. Now, modern psychology gives us additional pieces: conditioning, reinforcement, social threat, cognitive appraisal, attachment, reciprocity, behavioral learning. And evolutionary psychology explains why your brain became so sensitive to belonging, reputation, rejection, and cooperation. Your brain was built to survive among other humans. But survival machinery can become a vulnerability when someone learns how to activate it. So I want you to do something unusual. Don't watch this as entertainment. Watch yourself. Notice which sentence makes you uncomfortable. Notice which one makes you defensive. Notice which one makes you think of a particular person. Because I'm not talking about some abstract human being. I'm talking about you. The way you respond, the way you justify yourself, the way you forgive, the way you give, the way you react when someone is disappointed with you. And by the end of this, I don't want you to become dangerous because you can hurt people. I want you to become dangerous in a much more useful way, so aware of your own mind that manipulation becomes harder to hide from you. 5 signs, 5 psychological traps, and 5 ways to take your judgment back. Number 1, you fear looking selfish more than you fear being used. Start here. Someone asks you for something. You don't want to do it. You know you shouldn't. But before you say no, your mind doesn't ask, what is right? It asks, what will they think of me? That's the first fracture. Because the moment another person's opinion becomes more important than your judgment, you've handed away part of your autonomy. The Stoic would begin with a brutally simple question. Is their opinion yours to control? No. Then why are you allowing it to govern your behavior? This is the Stoic discipline of separating what belongs to your agency from what doesn't. You control your decision. You do not control their interpretation. You control whether you say yes. You do not control whether they call you selfish. You control your conduct. You do not control the story someone tells about you afterward. That distinction sounds philosophical, but now watch what happens underneath it. Your evolutionary history makes social rejection emotionally expensive. Your ancestors lived in tightly interconnected groups. Cooperation mattered. Reputation mattered. Belonging mattered. So your nervous system became extremely sensitive to social signals: a disappointed face, a cold response, a change in tone, a withdrawal of approval. Your brain notices, your body reacts. And if saying yes makes the discomfort disappear, your nervous system learns something. Compliance restores safety. That's behavioral reinforcement. You feel pressure. You surrender. You feel relief. The relief strengthens the behavior. Repeat it for years, and you don't need someone to manipulate you consciously. Your own nervous system begins doing the job. That is why some of the most controlled people don't look controlled. They look nice. They look agreeable. They look endlessly patient. They look like good people. But underneath, they are terrified of being perceived as bad. And someone who understands that can influence them simply by withdrawing approval. You don't need to become suspicious of everyone. You need to become suspicious of your own automatic reactions. Next time you say yes while everything inside you is saying no, stop. Don't immediately explain. Don't immediately apologize. Ask yourself, if I knew this person could never judge me, Would I still say yes? If the answer changes, you just discovered something. Maybe the decision wasn't coming from your values. Maybe it was coming from fear. That is the first piece of psychological armor. Comment. Their opinion is not my command. Number 2, you need to be needed. Now go somewhere deeper. Someone you care about becomes independent. They become stronger. They stop asking you for help. They no longer need you in the same way, and something inside you changes. You might call it sadness, but sometimes it's something darker, irrelevance, because somewhere along the way, your brain may have connected usefulness with worth. They need me, I matter. This can feel incredibly noble. You help, you sacrifice, you solve problems, you rescue people, you become the person everyone calls, and everyone praises you for being dependable. But ask yourself something uncomfortable. If everyone in your life became completely capable tomorrow, would you still feel valuable? Don't answer quickly, because that question separates generosity from identity. Human cooperation has deep evolutionary roots. Our ancestors survived by sharing information, resources, protection, skills, and labor. Being useful to others could strengthen social bonds. Helping can therefore feel rewarding. But the same system can be hijacked. You can begin helping because someone needs help. Then slowly, almost invisibly, you begin needing them to need you. And now your kindness has acquired a psychological dependency. Someone who discovers that can influence you without ever ordering you around. They can simply make you feel replaceable. And you will start proving your value. More favors, more availability, more sacrifice, more tolerance, more rescuing. You become the employee of your own need for significance. The Stoic doesn't build his identity on external necessity. His value comes from the quality of his character and judgment. That means something profound. You can help someone become independent and feel no loss when they no longer need you. In fact, you can feel proud because you weren't trying to make yourself necessary. You were trying to make them stronger. That's the clean version of kindness. So examine yourself. When someone becomes independent, do you celebrate their freedom? Or does a small part of you wonder, where does that leave me? If you feel the second one, don't condemn yourself. Study it. Awareness comes before correction, and once you recognize the mechanism, you stop unconsciously feeding it. Comment, I don't need to be needed. Number 3, you give, then secretly keep score. You tell yourself, I expect nothing in return, but you remember. You remember who showed up, who didn't, who appreciated you, who didn't, who returned the favor, who disappeared. And eventually, when someone disappoints you, the sentence comes, after everything I've done for you. That sentence reveals the hidden contract. Human beings evolve powerful reciprocity systems. Cooperation works partly because people track social exchanges. Who helps, who takes, who contributes, who defects. That system is adaptive, but it becomes dangerous when you aren't honest with yourself about what you're expecting. You say you're giving freely. Your subconscious may be expecting recognition, loyalty, gratitude, access, protection, or repayment. Then the other person doesn't provide it, and resentment appears. This is why Stoic discipline asks you to examine the transaction before you enter it. Don't give what you're secretly unwilling to lose. If you can't afford the cost, say no. If you choose to give consciously. Because there is something psychologically poisonous about generosity that comes with an invisible invoice. You hand someone a gift, then punish them because they didn't know what they owed you. That's not freedom. That's an unspoken contract. The Stoic solution is brutally clean. Choose your sacrifices consciously. If you can give without controlling the outcome, give. If you cannot, don't pretend. And this changes something enormous inside you. You stop becoming resentful because you stop making other people responsible for expectations they never agreed to. Comment, I give by choice, not for payment. Number 4, you forgive faster than they change. Now we're going into territory where kindness can become self-betrayal. Someone hurts you, you forgive, they repeat it. You forgive again, they apologize, you reopen the door, they repeat the behavior. You explain, you empathize, you forgive again. At some point, stop measuring the sincerity of the apology. Measure the pattern. This is where Stoic thinking becomes extremely powerful. The Stoic doesn't need revenge. He doesn't need hatred. He doesn't need to destroy the person. He needs accurate judgment, and accurate judgment requires one thing, observing behavior over time. Modern behavioral science gives you another piece. Consequences influence behavior. If a behavior repeatedly produces no meaningful boundary, there may be little environmental pressure for the pattern to change. So forgiveness does not mean unlimited access. Read that again. Forgiveness is internal. Access is behavioral. You can release hatred while changing the relationship. You can wish someone well while keeping distance. You can understand someone's pain without volunteering to become its target. You can forgive someone without giving them another opportunity to repeat the same behavior. This is where many people confuse compassion with permission. Don't. Compassion says, I understand. A boundary says, and therefore I choose accordingly. That's not cruelty. That's discernment. You don't need to hate the person. You simply need to stop ignoring the evidence. Because the Stoic doesn't live according to someone's promises. He lives according to judgment. If someone repeatedly shows you who they are, believing the pattern isn't bitterness, it's information. Comment, I can forgive without forgetting. Number 5, you feel guilty saying no. Now we reach the deepest mechanism. Someone asks, you don't want to, you know you shouldn't, but the moment you prepare to say no, your body reacts. Guilt, tension, anxiety, overthinking. Suddenly you're writing an entire psychological dissertation explaining why you cannot do one simple thing. And then you say, okay, why? Because you wanted the discomfort to disappear. Watch the loop. Pressure, guilt, surrender, relief. Your brain learns from relief. And the next time it happens, the same response becomes easier. Eventually you don't need another person to pressure you. You pressure yourself before they even have to. That's how conditioning becomes personality. You call it, I'm just a nice person. Maybe. Or maybe you've practiced avoiding interpersonal discomfort for so long that your nervous system now confuses surrender with safety. The Stoic response is not to become emotionless. It is to stop treating emotion as an unquestionable command. Feel guilt. Observe it. Then ask, what exactly is this emotion telling me? Is it saying, you violated your principles? Or is it saying, someone may be disappointed with you? Those are completely different messages. One concerns virtue, the other concerns approval, and approval is external. Epictetus would tell you to return to what belongs to your agency, your decision, your judgment, your conduct, not the emotional weather of everyone around you. So here's the question I want you to remember. Would I make the same decision if nobody could judge me? That question removes the audience. And when the audience disappears, you can finally hear your own judgment. Comment, guilt doesn't control my decisions. Now step back. Look at what you've just discovered about yourself. Your fear of looking selfish, your need to be needed, your hidden expectations, your excessive forgiveness, your guilt around saying no. They look like 5 different personality traits. They aren't necessarily. They can be 5 different expressions of the same underlying problem. Your internal judgment is being negotiated by external forces: approval, rejection, belonging, guilt, reciprocity, fear. And now you can see them. That's the advantage. Because manipulation becomes much harder when you can identify what is being activated inside you. You don't have to become paranoid. You don't have to assume everyone is manipulating you. You simply stop being psychologically automatic. Someone is disappointed? Observe. Someone calls you selfish? Observe. You feel guilty? Observe. You want to rescue someone? Observe. You feel desperate to be needed? Observe. You don't immediately obey the impulse. You investigate it. That is Stoic discipline. The modern psychological layer tells you how conditioning and reinforcement can shape behavior. The evolutionary layer explains why belonging, reciprocity, and reputation can feel so powerful. And the Stoic layer gives you the final weapon: judgment. Not control over other people. Control over your response. And that distinction is everything, because the goal isn't to become the most dangerous person on the planet by making everyone else afraid of you. That's primitive. The deeper form of danger is this: you become extremely difficult to manipulate because you understand yourself. You know where guilt enters. You know where approval enters. You know where fear enters. You know where your need for belonging enters. You know where your ego wants to be needed. And because you can see the mechanism, you can choose. That is power, not domination, self-government. So keep your kindness, but make it voluntary. Keep your compassion, but give it boundaries. Keep your forgiveness, but keep your memory. Keep your generosity, but understand the price. Keep your heart, but put your heart under the command of your judgment. Because being a good person doesn't mean being available to everyone. Being forgiving doesn't mean being accessible to everyone. Being compassionate doesn't mean sacrificing your discernment. And saying no doesn't make you cruel. Sometimes it proves that your yes actually means something. 2,000 years ago, the Stoics were trying to teach you how not to become a slave to external judgment. Modern psychology helps you understand the mechanisms. Evolutionary science helps you understand why the mechanisms exist. And now you have the advantage of seeing all three together. So the next time someone presses your guilt, you'll notice. The next time someone uses disappointment, you'll notice. The next time you feel compelled to prove your goodness, you'll notice. And instead of automatically reacting, you will think. That tiny space between stimulus and response, that's where your freedom lives. And once you learn to live there, you become much harder to control. Not colder, not crueler, clearer, not heartless, disciplined, not emotionless, governed. That's the mind we're building here. A mind that can love without becoming dependent, give without keeping invisible accounts, forgive without surrendering judgment, say no without collapsing under guilt, and walk away without needing everyone to understand why. That is virtue with teeth. If you want to keep building that kind of mind, subscribe to the Stoic Code. Because we're not here to make you colder. We're here to make you harder to deceive, harder to pressure, harder to exploit, and still human enough to remain good by choice. Keep the heart. Remove the leash.